Hello, hello.
Hi.
You gotta say hello, babe.
Hello. Hello.
What are we talking about today?
Religion. A very controversial topic, probably.
Shouldn't be.
No?
No. Everything's controversial today. I think everyone loves getting fired up to feel alive and like they can stand for something or stand against something. People need to chill out. On the outset, I think it's fair to say that I have a more sympathetic view towards religion than you do. Yeah?
Probably, yeah.
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 Like, I noticed that whenever something religious comes up or someone who's religious says something that's obviously silly or extreme or whatever, you just roll your eyes. Or even if religion's mentioned, you get defensive right away, whereas I don't. I'm not quick. But I don't think either of us like hate on religion or anything like that.
I think my initial reaction is always, Bob is the orange man. Are you very orange?
Steph, Bob is the orange man. As though, why are you in orange? I'm the orange man. Because my channel, the highlight color is orange.
It's actually red, but in this lighting it looks orange, but it's like red.
The filter I use on my videos accentuates, basically I highlight the red and the teal. And so anything red ends up being orange. Anything blue ends up being more cool green, like an aqua. So,
but it looks nice. Like my highlights look like they match my orange shirt.
the reason I use this color filter is like I like the color orange and teal, but I also like it does well on skin. So skin looks good. So it doesn't look really red or green or anything like that. So it looks nice and warm. So anyway.
Back to religion.
Yeah, for those of last week, someone asked me either on this stream or another one about the super note I use to take notes. It's like a digital tablet where you can just write and draw. But anyway, that's a different subject. So
yeah, so maybe a little bit of a backstory. Like, I was not raised, but I'm officially Roman Catholic. And I guess when we were little in Holland, my mom did take us to church when we were little. I don't remember much about that. And I was baptized and I did my communion. Is that how you say it in English?
you've never told me
Communion?
this. Yeah.
No?
No.
Yeah, we did do our communion. But then we kind of stopped going when we were still pretty young. Yeah, I don't know. I think that I've never really clicked with religion. It's never really made sense to me. And I think most of my life I was kind of standoffish when it came to religion. I didn't really want to have much to do with it. I think it's because I really like freedom. And with religion, especially with there are many different religions and many of them have kind of extreme rules and stuff. And I think that really put me off because I really value my freedom. But I think that the last few years, I have softened my view on religion a little bit. And I think that's probably not just because of talking with you, but also because I've been writing a lot about like alien worlds and creating rules for a society and stuff, because I'm always like fantasizing and thinking about those things.
Organizing the world and things like that.
Organizing world. So I think because of all of those storyline ideas, I can see the value in having rules and sharing morals and stuff. So from that point of view, I can kind of understand better why a religion is important. So yeah, I have softened up a bit. Like, I do understand and agree with you that some kind of, not necessarily a religion, but like when a society shares morals and they all kind of respect the same rules and stuff, like I understand that that's good. But then there are still other things that I kind of, don't understand and don't really buy into, I guess. But some of the things regarding religion, I do understand. Let me put it that way.
Look,
Yeah.
I think with any group, once you start getting into the group, the dumbest, lowest people make the most noise, and they ruin it for the best in that group. And we've talked about whether it's feminists or, MGTOW and all of that sort of stuff. It's well-meaning people who started, and it becomes popular because of sensible people and the foundations that started it, like the philosophy behind it, the 10 Commandments. Like, I think most religions, their 10 Commandments or their major rules that they can run off the top of their head, that's the thing that gets people into the religion. It's like Scientology as well, and I'm not equating Scientology to, but the things that get you in are the very human things that everyone agrees on. How to treat your fellow man, how to treat your woman, how to get along, how to be respectful, polite, fair, blah, blah, blah. Every popular religion has those to get in the door, including Scientology. And that promises to kind of organize your world. And I respect religion. I always have. I had a good experience growing up in the Orthodox Church. I think Mele commented, yes, I'm Serbian, so I'm Greek Orthodox, same kind of religion. And our church was very friendly. The priest was very quiet, humble, talkative. He didn't push it down your throat. When he talked to you, he talked like a normal person. He mentioned God and stuff, but he didn't like you've got to talk this way and believe this thing. He just talked about ideas and how to treat people and stuff. So I always had a positive thing. But for me, I never got answers beyond what I arrived at on my own and through normal discussion, even with the priests and people who were religious. Once they start reciting memes from the Bible or from the book, like stories, it's like, yeah, but let's talk about life. And so religion's never, I respect it, but I've never gone beyond the kind of very human interaction and discussions around it. So I do respect religion, and I have to say I think most people could use religion as an organizing moral principle, because that's what it is. Because most people are lazy, most people don't want to think, most people aren't even interested philosophically, or they're not curious about their world and why this, why that, how people should get along. People just want to drink beer, have kids, and watch sports and stuff. So I think most people need an organizing philosophy like religion, and that's what it's useful for, But all the kind of stories, parting the sea and walking on water and horses taking you to heaven and stuff, like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, I feel like I want to respond to that, but first, can we just address those two? Because I don't know what they mean by that, and I'm curious. What's tithing?
Tithing.
Tithing?
No idea. Armored Ghost. Maybe he's trolling. I don't know.
What are hucksters? I don't know that either.
Avoid hucksters, like scammers.
Mm.
Hi, Peg. Hi, Ted. Kathy. Never seen you before, but hello. So anyway, go ahead, babe.
I think, okay, in a nutshell, I think my problem with religion is that I would respect not even a religion, but an organization or something more if they just had if they stand for certain morals and they have certain rules that people live by, just so that they can have a really good society. Like, that's a part of religion that I think is good. But what I don't like is that no one knows if it's real. The whole God thing. For me, I think it's because I am very direct and kind of down to earth. So for me, it should either be true or not true, but then don't pretend that it's true. So I'm more like, if it's just about morals and rules in a society, then just call it that. Then just call it a certain organization or whatever. Or if it's like an actual God, then call it a religion. But I don't know. I don't like the whole God thing that we don't know, we can't prove it. Why can't it just be like an organization or a movement that's about morals and rules and
Yeah, because
living
people
good.
won't follow it. People won't do it. People are lazy. I know what you're saying. Call it something else. But even if you call it something else, the police don't even enforce the law, right and wrong, you know? Before, religion used to, and the police used to, and your society used to, and your people around you. No one enforces right and wrong and the truth anymore. Religion used to. So I think most people could do with religion when you look at the world and the amount of antidepressants that people are taking, and people are changing their hair color. They don't even know what a man or a woman is.
Yeah, but then you're saying that people will only follow morals and rules if it's about an afterlife and that kind of thing.
No, but I think most people are pretty silly in the world, and I think they could do with religion to help them behave in society. There's very few people, and I'm not saying you or I anything special, but there's very few people that really believe in and think truth and honesty and fairness is important, and treating people like the way you want to be treated and stuff like that. You really hold true to that. Most people don't care. Most people just give lip service to all this stuff, and they make TikTok videos because it's popular and they'll get likes, but they don't really believe in what they say. And you look at their lives and they're lazy. They don't live by these things. So religion kind of scared you, like there was a parental figure that said, yeah, don't do this because you'll get punished.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So do you think that the reason why religion works is because they're afraid of God and because they want an afterlife? So do you think that because governments, if the world was not messed up, right, and people in power actually had good intentions, if they enforce like good morals and kind of like a religion does, don't you think that people would want to follow those morals and rules? Or do you think there needs to be like a God or an afterlife?
Well, they need to fear punishment. They won't follow things if they don't fear consequences. No one does. Most people don't. Most people don't believe in doing the right thing because it's important for them to do the right thing. Like, I believe in the principle of doing the right thing, right? But if I don't have to, and most people, if they don't have to do something, they won't, and they're lazy. You look at anything in life, they won't do it. If the government or society or whatever says here are rules and regulations, and this is how you have to treat people, but you have to be punished. But you can't just say you better do it. That means society's going to be like one of those woke parents. Junior, don't do that. Don't do, and the kid just screams. All of society is a screaming kid because there's no parental figure smacking or punishing or disciplining the child. I look at the whole world, the human race is like infantile children that have like lost the parent, and the parent figure, because to me, religion and God is a proxy for the future. So it's like there's a parental figure that's telling you behave or else you'll get punished later. You need to discipline yourself as a human being now, or tomorrow you're going to really have hell to pay, in the literal, like in the figurative sense.
Right.
You know, that's why I think it's useful, and most people do, because most people don't care about standing up for what's right, having a value system, speaking like this, and really thinking this stuff is important, and thinking about how you're going to conduct yourself in life.
Right. So you think that like the government and the world can't do that. That's why there should be religion.
No, and they're not doing it. They're not punishing bad people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's why you think it's important that there should be a religion, because people will listen to that.
Not that it should. People are free to do what they want. We're an advanced society now. But I think that's why there's a rise in religion. Have you noticed on YouTube and on the internet, a lot of people are going towards religion?
Yeah.
Because the world is confusing and no one's looking out for them. The police aren't even looking out for them. The army's full of cross-dressing LGBT. Like, it's kind of like you don't feel safe anywhere. People felt safe with God and religion. When you read the text and you look at the way, people feel really safe because they know they're taken care of later. There's something bigger than them.
Yeah, but you don't know, though.
Well, they believe it.
Yeah, but that's my problem. Like, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, everyone could be like, it could be like this mass delusion.
Yeah, but you don't know, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, what's more useful? What's useful to you now?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Believing in something that you say, well, I can't prove it, therefore it's not true. But also, I don't need to prove a negative either. It's kind of, again, you can believe what you want, but what's useful in your life? If it's kind of like, well, a religion actually makes my life make more sense if I'm in a religious circle, and I'm speaking like I'm stepping outside of this and I'm looking at society completely free the way it is now and people doing what they want without religion, and they're a bunch of lunatics. You know, it's very hard to even deal with people and watch online as they lie about the news and whatever it is. But then you look at people who are religious, as long as they're not extremists, they're very organized the way they think, they're respectful, they're decent, they tend to be more mature than people with complete freedom. So I actually respect religion more now as I grow up because I look at society deteriorating. That doesn't mean I've become religious, but if I had to choose one, I would, if I had to tick a box, be on the side of religious people or the left, I'd choose religious people. Like I'd choose something more conservative like religion because it's much more mature
Yeah, I understand it. I think I do think that it would probably be good for a lot of people, but I think I'm just really hung up on that no one knows if it's real. That's what I'm hung up on.
Think about how many people are responsible for their freedom completely. Not many.
What do you mean?
Like, what religion did for people was have an authority above them that they're a little bit afraid of, like a parent, like stay in line, but you love them, and you become a good person, a decent person. How you live your life, you treat people well, you discipline yourself, and you don't just do what you want to do in the moment with religion. Whereas when you got complete freedom, you always get. You're more susceptible by control, by the government, by advertising, by McDonald's, by everything. I would say if you're less religious, if you're less religious, because religion and God, from what I see, tell you ought to do this and you should do this. You're free not to. God doesn't tell you can't. But think about it, because you're going to be sorry tomorrow. Maybe not by me, but you'll be sorry. So God is a fear of consequences, which I think is healthy. You get rid of consequences, people now just live for the moment. So the government can say, here, McDonald's, and then tomorrow you feel shit because there's nothing stopping you. You only get rewarded in the moment. Whereas religion rewarded you for disciplining yourself today for tomorrow. I think that is what people are missing today.
Yeah, I feel like we can almost have two different conversations. Like we can have a conversation about that religion is probably good for society, which I do agree with. And then the other conversation is whether it's actually real. And that's what I'm hung up on.
Yeah, but they can say anything like, is love real?
No, that pisses me off so much. People that do that.
Yeah, but there's a lot of things.
You know why? Because if I run out in front of the street and a car drives over me, right, and kills me, you're gonna fall to your knees and cry, and that's proof that love. Like we can see that love exists everywhere.
Yeah, it's related to an actual person, right?
Yeah, but you can see it also. And with religion, by the way, I'm not like an atheist per se. I'm like agnostic, I think you would say. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, I don't know, like no one knows. And that's what I'm hung up on, because I actually think that, because I like being loyal. Mm-hmm. And so I think that if there was a religion there was actually something real about it, like as in there was actually a God that you could actually, in some kind of way, there would be proof that he was real, you know, I would be like the first in line. You know, if it was like real and honest, and you would know, like if you were religious, then you would know exactly what you would give and what you would get back. It would be fair, you know? Like, I think it should be like that. So, I don't know. I don't understand, like, if it is real, why we never see any proof. And then people have all sorts of vague answers to that always. And that's what I just always have a problem with. Like, I don't like the vagueness and that no one knows. And that's why I think that it's probably that people just believe it because they want to believe it, because they want an afterlife, and they just choose to believe in it. But no one actually knows if it's real.
For me, I actually look at it philosophically. If it's useful and it helps my life now, great. If I get a bonus later, great. It's a win-win. But if it's like, I just want to do whatever I want now because you can't prove to me that there's going to be consequences or it's real, then okay, suffer all of life on your own. I think that religion helps people who are more fragile or scared or need a bit more support. It helps them sleep better at night. It helps them know that there's an organizing philosophy in their life, you know, rather than dealing with the world all the time. Yeah. I know it's not real. I know you're hung up on that. But for me, it's more important, is it useful to the specific person? Is it not? As long as they're not like a weirdo, if it's useful for you and it makes your life better.
Yeah, but that's not the question that I'm combating at all. Like, I agree that it would probably be best for most people in the world. And if we all follow the religion, we have the same kind of morals and rules and stuff, that would be really good for the world. But then what I don't understand is that if there's like a God, why doesn't he like show himself or show proof in some way so that people on Earth actually know that it's real and that there is an afterlife, and then everyone is gonna become a better person and behave better and become religious, and then the whole world would be better. So then why doesn't he like give us a sign? And then also one thing that a lot of atheists and agnostic people are hung up on, I think, is all of these horrible things happening in the world. Like, yeah, that's a very fair point, I would say.
What, in the name of religion?
No, people that like doubt if God is real, that's always the argument.
It's kind of like, if he was real, why did he allow this to happen? Well, he works in mysterious ways.
God has a plan, like that kind of bullshit. But like, if your family member dies of fucking cancer at 31 years old, you know, like, what's up with that? Like, sorry, but that just makes me really have doubts, to put it.
Well, again, not on the side of religion, but say someone who's agnostic or not religious, right? Their loved one dies and they have to face the unknown metaphysical trauma of like, what happened? I'm sad. Why this isn't fair. They were young, they were healthy, blah, blah. And you stress out a lot. Whereas the religious person goes, well, it's sad, but God has a plan and I'll see them in heaven. You feel better. Whether it's true or not, whether you can prove it or not. Which person stresses less? Which person has a healthier life? Even if you think it's delusional, right?
Yeah, sure. But I guess I'm just talking from my point of view when I say that. Yeah. Yeah, but I get that some people need it and it makes them feel better and then they're a better person. So like, I don't argue with that. Mm-hmm. I think just for me personally, I'm just explaining like why I don't necessarily believe it. It's just like, because, I don't know, there's no proof.
Kathy says, certainly seems some religions were created as a means of creating social order at the time. Yeah, and I think now there's social disorder. I think that's a big reason why religion is becoming more and more popular on the internet. People are turning to religion because it's just a time-tested and consistent organizing social and moral principle between people and within yourself that helps people be on the same page with the same rules, you know, and talk the same way. If you go outside it, you know, and everyone else goes, you went outside, and you go, I know. But now with no religion, no rules, like, you went outside. Well, I feel like this. Don't tell me what to, like, no one can argue. Yeah. But when there's religion, there's, no, it's in the book. God says whatever. It's like, yeah, all right, I have to acknowledge, I did wrong or I did the thing or whatever it is, and I have to own up. You know, that's also the beautiful thing about it, I think. So for people who are too simple or normal, or frankly, some people are stupid, they need it, right? But for some intelligent, well-meaning people, I've met physicists who are religious, and it helps them. Some people are brought up with it, and they were brought up with a great family with religion, and they honor that. And you can understand that, being loyal to something you honor. You don't just want to throw it away. So you try and hold two positions. You might say, yeah, I don't believe in all of the walking on water stuff, but I believe in all the other stories that tell me how to be a better human being, that give me allegories and analogies about how to treat people and blah, blah, blah. So again, to me, is it useful? That's the most important thing. And I think for most people, religion would be useful, especially for people who are very confused and anxious today.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I guess I wish that it was real. You know, like, I wish, I say this sometimes, like, I wish there would be, like, a new religion would come into the world, but it would actually, like, be real. Like, it would have an actual God.
I don't wish there would be another one. There's already enough. All of them pretty much have the same foundations. Like I said, what gets you in? Have you noticed how almost all of them have the same foundations to their religion? Like how to treat people, blah, 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 love, respect, marriage, men, women, all that stuff. All of them are pretty much the same. It's all the other stuff that's different. So
yeah, I just don't understand why there's never proof. That's just what I'm hung up on. Like, I agree completely with that it's good for people, and I get why people want to believe in it, but just for me personally, that's what always stops me. And I just think that if it was real, like if there was actually proof, I'd be the first one to join the religion, probably, if it was like a good religion, obviously.
Well, religious people, they will tell you that God doesn't need to show himself to you, because then you're just still going to be like a brat that only does what they're told, or only disciplines themselves because they're afraid of punishment, rather than, well, you can do what you want and you will see the consequences day after day, and then later on, as you get older, you're going to be scared of death, and then you're going to wonder. Whereas I think with people who are very religious, as long as they're not the extreme kind, their kind of mental health is fairly stable. They know they're taken care of after they die. They're more disciplined for tomorrow. They know to do the right thing more than completely free people in society. So
I don't even think it matters if there are people who are only behaving well because they want an afterlife, because they're still behaving better. So what's the loss, you know?
Well, they're behaving, yeah, but to me, it's like, it's a little bit, to me, it's like useful. If you feel like you have this strong will and feeling towards religion, your religion or whatever, and it really works for you and it eases your mind and you feel empowered and stuff, great. But if it's just kind of, you have to do it, I'm God, I've come in front of everyone, I'm telling you, you're going to go.
No, you don't have to do anything. But I think it's the opposite. I think if a God would actually like show himself or prove in some way that it's real, or when you actually follow the religion, you actually get things back that you can see and notice in your life, like good things happen, then I think that a lot more people would actually follow the religion. Not just because they want an afterlife, but just because there's actually something there. People are gonna join the religion, I feel like. They're gonna want to feel safe and be a part of that. Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, part of me, you know what I think? Is those people that are forced, if God showed themselves, I wouldn't trust them. It's like, you're only here not because you're a nice person now, you're a decent person. You're just afraid, like underneath it, I can't trust you because you're just afraid of being punished tomorrow. You're not doing this, you're not doing right and wrong and truth because you believe in it. You're doing it because you have to.
Yeah, but why does that matter?
Again, my point otherwise, like, why does it matter? I think you're more goal oriented. So you want to know if it's actually real at the end, if it's true. I don't care if it's useful now in the present. I'm more of a present oriented person that leans into the future. Like how I conduct myself now, I want to lean to tomorrow, and consistently that will be my life. Whereas with everyone that's just only doing it because they have to,
No one has to. The God wouldn't. You can join a religion if you want to. He's not going to force you. But it's just like if you actually join the religion, then good things will happen. And let's say you'll have an afterlife. Like this God actually can prove that that's real. Like he's not forcing anyone to do anything. But the people that actually want to join the religion, it's actually going to be real. So most people on Earth, unless they're like crazy, are probably going to follow that religion. And it will bring like a lot of peace, I think, to the world.
I also think that religion provides a good, stable community for people. People who are religious, if they get into a religion, they like the community of people. And all the people are predictable. Like they're all kind of the same, the way they treat each other, the way they speak and all that. So I think that's that's a big comforting factor. It's less about you as an individual. Do you believe in God? I think most of the benefits is communal, social, family. You can trust you can trust another person from your same church and religion, you know? So I think that's a really big thing. It's not really about the individual. It's about more, yes, the individual, but also connected to the community, to the family and all that. So
yeah, I agree with that too. So that's why I say I think that would take over the world if such a religion was like created.
Yeah. So I think that's where we differ. You're more goal-oriented. I'm more sort of present-oriented. And I think if it's useful, I respect religion for its base moral guiding principles for people, because most people aren't interested. They don't think, and they're not philosophically inclined. They don't have ethics and good morals. And I think religion is a really good philosophy that's ready-made to give to people. That it's kind of like, just give me the cheat sheet, give me the bullet points, and I'll live my life by this. I don't want to think. I want to watch football. I want to have kids. I want to go to work. I'm not really a person that's very responsible for my life, and I need someone to lean on, you know?
Yeah, I think I am too down to earth. That's also why I'm not superstitious. I don't believe things happen for a reason. Like, I'm more scientific. I guess I need like proof before. I don't just believe something because it's like fluff. Like, I don't know. I need like substance.
Let's see if there's any other comments or questions.
Tithing means giving 10% of your income to the church. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Well, if people get something for it, it's like following a YouTuber. If you're getting something from turning up weekly, you donate because you like what you're getting from the church. It makes your life better. Yeah,
okay, but is that donating or is it you have to?
No, tithing is donation.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's fine.
They pass around, or not even pass around. Like I know in the Orthodox Church, there's like a little basket. You can go up and put money if you want. Right. No one's forcing you.
All right.
See, your reaction is always harsh.
Let me calm down.
I think I've calmed you down.
I think I'm being pretty reasonable though, but am I? No.
Cynical Optimist says, from my experiential understanding, God means whatever existed originally from which all else derives. That's the definition of God, the original existence from which all existence derives. Okay.
Yeah, some say, but like we don't know. Because there's also, like, if you look at scientists who are like, who don't believe in God, because I love watching documentaries about like the universe and everything, right? And that's something else. Like if you really dive deeply into like watching stuff about the universe and everything that we've discovered about the universe, and then at the same time to say, oh yeah, God created everything. It's almost like an insult to like the universe.
Yeah, but also look at how useful religion. I feel like I'm but this is nice. Like I'm on the side of religion. We're both not religious, but we're kind of like, I'm on like good cop, bad cop. But I was going to say something. What did you just say? It might jog my memory.
That it's kind of an insult to the universe to say that God created everything, because the universe is like so amazing, and the way that we're finding out about everything and stuff.
I can't remember what I was going to say.
Can't remember?
No. But what I wanted to add as well is that because everyone's free to do what they want, they're not told what they ought to do. what they should do, what the moral, like, no, you need, this is a good person, and if you don't do the right thing, you should be ashamed of yourself. That's really good to keep people disciplined in line, and they like themselves when they take care of their health, they treat people well, they're not an arsehole and all of that stuff, right? If you get rid of how you ought to behave, and like today, it's like, well, you can do whatever you want. You can call yourself a man and a woman or whatever the hell you want. Everyone's a blank slate. Everyone is completely free, right? Everyone now is vulnerable to advertising and the government lying and stuff. Whereas before with religion, it's like, no, this is the truth. This is right and wrong. And God supports it. So if the government says do this, they go, no. Everyone pushes back to the government and goes, no, because that's wrong. And God says this, and we will not act this way. This is not a man. Like, there's no other genders or whatever. Like, no, religion and God, like, there's only the truth. You get rid of that, the organizing moral principle of religion. Everyone can be free. Now everyone's free to be manipulated and marketed to, and everyone's confused.
Yeah, but, I don't think that you necessarily need religion to have, like, a normal, well-functioning society.
So, sure, but look at everyone. Like, you might not, I might not.
No, but I mean, because there are countries where people just live pretty much in peace and normally and with, like, good morals and values. It's more about, like, some countries, maybe you should look at their leaders as well. Like, they just fuck up their countries.
Sure.
So it's also that, like, it's because I feel like all the emphasis is being put on the religion to be responsible for getting people to behave well and normally. But then you also see countries where people are able to do that. And I don't know how much they rely on religion, but I don't know. I feel like it's almost like you're taking away all responsibility from people and we're just like retards. But like, I feel like it should be the government also. Like the government and the leaders, shouldn't they be responsible for making a good society, creating a good society and rules and morals? And I guess that doesn't happen because the leaders don't care about people and they're all greedy and they only care about money and power and stuff.
Sure, but also what if the individual, again, if everyone was religious, then the government would become better. But you make everyone not believe in anything and then the government can act corrupt.
Yeah, so that's a problem.
So you can't be lazy and go, well, the government needs to take care of it. You're replacing God with the government then. Like the government needs to be a real entity out there. Then I'll do what I'm told. Then I'll feel safe. But if you can actually, like the people who believe in God, it's like they have an internal will, like, no, I believe in this and this is the right thing. And if more people were like that, then the government would act better because all the people would force them to. The people, because of their own moral principles, if they're religious, they would say, no, we're not doing this. We're going on strike if you act better. But if none of us believe in anything, like men are wearing skirts and we don't know what a woman is, the government can just say anything they want. They can censor us and no one fights back. Everyone's like a little 3-year-old.
No, yeah, I know what you mean, but I think I am more talking about, I'm looking at it more from an idealistic standpoint. I think I'm like thinking in storylines right now where like in a good world, like the leaders would actually take care of their people, but I guess that's not reality.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just don't like all the all the responsibility being put on a religion. That humans, are we just not able to like act normally ourselves?
We'll put it this way. Like if you had like a society, say the government would be really good and they'd say they would punish someone with life imprisonment if they cheated on their partner. And then would people really trust their partner? Or would people really go like, yeah, you're only faithful to me. I can see you hate me. You look at other men, but you won't do anything because you're scared to death of going to prison for the rest of your life. But we hate each other. Wouldn't you rather know the person in and of themselves believes in loving you and staying with you? They've got principles they believe in. And I think that's what religion can do for a lot of people. But if the government like has to come in and say, well, we're going to there's rules, the government's real, you can see us, and if you do this, we'll punish you, like we're going to structure society. No one's really going to believe that people are your friend, that they love you, that they mean what they say, that they're going to keep promises because they're a good person. It's just all going to be a business transaction. But at least with religion, it, in a way, makes people in and of themselves, whether it's an illusion or not, we trust each other, we like each other because as an individual, I act the way I should act because I believe in something. I want to be a good person.
Yeah, but I'm like, this is still kind of an idealistic conversation, I guess. But I'm looking at it more like, I don't see the government in my like idea as like forcing the people or anything like that. It's more like the leaders, they have like good morals and good rules, and everyone in the society, they want to work together and they agree with it because they have a good society that way. That's kind of like an example is like Finland. Like the reason why they're the happiest country in the world is because they completely trust their government. And they have like really good like programs and stuff, and they like, you know, like that's a good thing. Like that's why it's a good society and people are happy because there's trust with the government. That's kind of what I'm talking about. And then they all work together. They have the same morals and rules because they want to, because it makes the society good. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but Finland has a long history. A lot of those countries that need to survive, the people have a long history and a long tradition, and some of them are religious. They've got really good structural rules in their society. They're not completely free, but they've got a really respectful, well-organized social. And then they elect, and the people demand that leader is a good leader, and he keeps the country well. But I'm talking about the West, where I grew up. Complete freedom, do what you want. Leaders lie, cheat. You know, ideal societies are one thing, but I think people need to be better, and then their leaders will change, especially in the West. The leaders aren't now all of a sudden going to be really nice and start taking care of all of their children in society. No. They're not. That's the reality. So the only solution now for the West especially, and the world the way it's going, is you have to, in yourself, decide to be a better person, and that spreads, and then slowly corrupt people in the government disappear because we push them out. We won't vote for them. We won't buy bullshit. We won't listen to their advertising, you know? You're not going to have this utopia where a magical government starts taking care of it, because you look at the corrupt governments, there's all other members that are going to backstab them and remove them from government. Like a great benevolent leader isn't going to last very long because everyone else politically is really mean and doesn't have good principles. So that utopia, like what the government ought to do and stuff, what about what you ought to do? And that's where I think religion is useful. What should you do? Who cares? Like, the government's not going to be your parent. If you're going to look at a parent figure, it's better, more useful to look at a religion or a God, because then it makes you be better. Because he's not going to save you, maybe later, but you save yourself by being a good person.
No, that government thing, that was more like a storyline idea.
Yeah.
That's more like an idealistic...
But in terms of like religion and stuff, I actually respect religion more as I get older. Because, you know, you're young, the younger you are, you're curious, you're rebellious, you want to find your own way, you want to find your own voice. I think it's natural, like you push religion and you... But as I get older, I just look at the difference between complete freedom and the Western world now and religious people who aren't, you know, extremists. And I much more respect the organized stability of a religion than the chaos of complete freedom in the Western civilized, not civilized, industrial world. So I have more respect for that than idiots with complete freedom that color their hair purple and don't know what a man and a woman is. So let's
look how white I am, babe. Why am I always super white?
Yeah, but I'm in the corner here. People can't see. I'm in the corner, so all the light's coming to you.
Yeah.
But anyway, maybe we should put... Yeah, anyway. Whatever. Let's... Armored Ghost, yeah, I did. At the start, I actually said why I'm not religious. I grew up Orthodox, Greek Orthodox. My heritage is Serbian. And I have respect for my religion and my church, but it never kind of gave me any answers beyond my basic civil conduct that I arrived at on my own. And I still, whenever I go to church with family, which is usually sometimes on Easter or Christmas, but I always grew up respecting it more as a family thing, that a tradition that you go during Easter and Christmas, and we observed it and we crossed ourselves and things like that. And I like the ritual and the tradition and the family oriented thing, but I never believed in all of the what are they called, those stories, the revelation stories or whatever the hell they're called. But I respect religion, but I'm not a pious person.
What does that mean?
Means observant. Like, you go to church, you really believe in God, you're 100% locked in. And
I don't know. I wish it was real though, because I love watching, like, the series about Scientology. I loved watching that. That was awesome. And like, I'm always interested in, because I love structure and organization, and I find that very interesting. So yeah, I wish there was one that was actually like real.
I actually used to pray maybe 10 to 15 years ago, up until then, just as a way of, when I went to bed, again, not that but I kind of almost kind of like speaking my thoughts to the universe, and like I did say the words like in my head, like, God, take care of my family and all this, because I was brought up that way. But also it's kind of like reminding myself what's important, but not necessarily that I believe there's like a bearded man in the sky and I'm going to go to hell if I don't do something and I've got to do the right thing. But it's kind of a way of reminding yourself of how to act well, and reminding yourself to utter the words of what's important to you rather than I need to pray, and it just makes me feel good, and again, that's why I say, if it's useful, what's the harm? Who cares? As long as you're not a lunatic like these people, you will go to hell. There's people that stand on the street corner and they like shame you into like, you must believe in God or you're a bad person. It's like, that person can fuck off. But I think I'll just leave it at, I respect religion today more than I did in the past. Not that I never ever disrespected it. I was fairly neutral, but now I'm actually positive towards religion without being religious. And because I compare it to people who are atheists and stuff, the majority of them are complete morons. And they go to any study that can, scientific or social or psychological, and this means that, and everything's relative. Nothing makes sense, and everyone's got their own ideas. But at least religion never changes. It's like a way of conducting yourself that's been around for thousands of years.
I think I'm a little bit more neutral. I'm at least less negative about religion now. Yeah.
I'm more sympathetic towards religion than I was before. So, yeah. Got some questions here that you wrote down. What comes to mind when you hear the word religion?
Yeah, my initial reaction is still kind of negative because I've had that my whole life, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of see it from those two points of view. Like, I understand that it's good for most people, probably. And I understand why people would want to believe. But then on the other hand, for me personally, it's a problem because there's no proof. That's basically kind of where I stand.
Yeah, well, you're also a little bit stubborn and you don't like being told what to do. And so I think we're like the religion is like a set of rules. Like, you can't think for yourself, or you have to do this no matter what. And you're like, why? Why do I have to do it?
Yeah, that's why I say, like, if it was actually real, and I would like the religion would line up with like me, with like my morals and stuff, then I wouldn't have a problem following rules, because then I would be loyal and I would agree with it.
But God in the universe doesn't have to abide by you. Why do you? Like,
I'm not saying they have to abide by me, but it's a choice for anyone to want to follow a religion or not, and that's my choice. So I'm just saying that from my point of view. No, they don't have to abide by me. No.
Hey, Big Ol, how are you going? Yeah, we're not talking about religious, like really in depth, like a lot of people on Discord or certain channels do. We're just giving you our take. Do you think two partners must be equally yoked, as in both need to be religious? I think that could be a dividing point between...
I think that would be preferable, for sure.
No, but it could really, if I was extremist, like I want to go to church all the time, every discussion I talk about in, like, I drop in, you know, Matthew and God and Jesus, and like, you'd be like, oh, well, can we just talk normally?
I think it could work if we could just respect each other's beliefs. Like if you were very religious, but you were okay with you just going to church and whatever, but I don't because I'm not religious, that would be fine, I think. It's only a problem if the other partner starts to demand that the other one also...
What about if it's like, come to church, babe, with me. I'd like you to be there, but you don't have to be religious. I just want you there as my wife, just coming to church.
No, that would probably annoy the fuck out of me. Yeah. Yeah.
But look, there are a lot of things like when we first met that you were a bit resistant to, and now you've either warmed up to or now you actually really like. I think if you respect your partner, like if you respect your partner's not going to treat you badly or disrespect you or whatever, if he just wants your support.
I think that would be something like the social problem that we had in the beginning.
Yeah.
That would probably be something big like that.
That would, over time, you'd find you'd compromise with.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That would be weird though. But you know why? It's because at least with being social, that makes sense and I understand it. And it's like logical. Like I understand that that's important to you. But like with religion, I don't know. I kind of feel like it would be like, not, how do I say that? Like every time stepping in a church knowing that I don't believe per se, I would kind of feel weird about that, I think. I don't know.
This is an interesting point you put down. If religion is about love and peace, why are many of the world's conflicts and wars caused by religion?
Yeah.
I don't think they're caused by religion. I think they're caused by the loudest, dumbest lunatics within the religion. It's like any group. Pick any group online that's well-known, feminists, whatever. The loudest, dumbest morons are the ones that speak for that religion. And the civil, calm people can't shut them up. And then the whole group is known for that weirdo, that group, that small minority of loud morons. I think that's more the choice. It's not, religion doesn't cause wars. It's the extremists and lunatics within any group that causes the problem and give it a bad reputation.
Yeah, but you could even, it's not even about whether it's in the name of religion that there are wars and conflicts and stuff. It's just, even if you take religion away, like if there's a God, why are there wars and stuff? That doesn't make any sense. Like,
yeah, but you're also looking at God as being like almost like a human being, like a mythical person waiting for you upstairs.
right.
I don't know. If I do respect religion and what it is, I see it more in terms of the universe, something bigger than me. And you could call it God, you could call it the universe, or stuff that I don't know and I can't understand. Because I'm not the smartest thing. Human beings aren't.
You know what I think? I think the universe is so freaking big, and we are like, maybe we are even the only ones, the only life right now. And we are so insignificant, and that just scares the shit out of people. So they want to believe in something. I don't know.
I think religion is really useful to organize people morally who are the most barbaric, dumb, uncivilized people. I think it's really useful for them, and I wish more of those people would become religious but not extremists, because it would show them, it would help them behave. I see God as being a well-meaning parent that calms their child down and disciplines them. And I think most of the people in the West, they could do with that. Most people are just screaming little toddlers that can't shut up.
Yeah, but I'm not arguing that. Like, I agree that religion is probably good for most people. Like, you know, I admit that.
Yeah,
but
cynical optimist says God isn't an interventionist God. God lets you do what you want, or the universe lets you do what you want, but you're going to bear the consequences. So there's no point, like, see, this is where I see religion being useful, or believing in someone bigger than you looking down at you, and kind of like Santa Claus, he knows when you're naughty and nice. That's a story for toddlers, right? Toddlers grow out of it. But religion, not that I'm putting down religion, but it's kind of like a more mature story, a parable that, and with a lot more lessons and more in depth and philosophical, that is the same sort of thing. He knows when you're naughty and nice, and you'll be, if you act badly, you won't get your presents, you won't be rewarded, you'll be punished, whatever. So I think most people who are just 3-year-olds, most people out there, they don't want to mature. They're lazy mentally, and they don't know how to stop at one hamburger. They have to eat 20 hamburgers. And then they complain about, well, it's not my fault, McDonald's got me fat. Those are the people that need religion the most, because you're a toddler. You refuse to grow up, and you're bad for everyone. So you need religion. That kind of, those people piss me off, and I wish if there was a God, he could force religion onto them, because they ruin it for everyone else.
yeah, but like what he says, I do think that like a God should protect like good people. That's what I find so weird about it. Like, if there was a God, I get that he gives us free will and everything, but I don't know, I feel like if I were a God, right, and I would have my religion, I would like make it fair. Like, if people follow my religion, I would reward them with things, and I would keep them safe. Like, I don't feel like it's fair if you're like a good person, you follow a religion, and then like you die of cancer, for example. Like, those things don't make sense to me. Like, he's not an interventionist God, okay, but like you should keep your people safe. That's just my opinion, but I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't believe the universe is, the concept of fair is a human concept. I don't think fair is really a thing. I'm kind of the person that, I like things being like reciprocal and just. Like, I treat you a certain way, and I expect you to treat me the right way. But if you don't, I don't get angry and keep shouting at you. I have a choice to not continue to treat you well. But I don't expect the world and everything outside of me to be fair.
No, but what I mean is, like, if he's not an interventionist God and we have free will, but there are consequences, that would have happened anyway if there would be no God. Like, then we just do whatever and there are consequences. That's just normal life. Like, what is the God doing then?
Here's an argument. What would you say to this?
The argument that God doesn't exist because of cancer is pathetic. You do know that if God exists, then so does the devil. Why aren't bad things attributed to the devil instead of blaming God? Well, God and the devil are kind of in the same ballpark for me. Like, they're both things that could be made up or could be real. Like, no one knows.
Yeah, but he's saying that, like, you know, that when something bad happens, like a child gets cancer, and then you go, why does God allow that to happen? But he didn't make that happen. The devil did. That's what they're saying. Some people say that. It wasn't God that made it happen. The devil did that.
Okay, well, I've never heard anyone say that, though.
Again, see, it's all belief. It's what makes sense to you.
Yeah, but it's also, we could talk about this, but like we could also talk about Santa Claus. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, maybe it's all true and I just don't know.
Well,
but like, we don't know.
Well, think about it. Say you were religious, right? You didn't have the complete freedom, and you didn't have full responsibility of struggling with all the mental things you need to struggle with day to day. If you know that someone else, like a parental figure that's telling you how to behave, has got you and telling you, no, don't do this, Stephanie, do that, you feel a bit better. You don't have to have all the weight of the world on your shoulder. Then you probably will be able to deal with your little stresses and disciplines a lot better, rather than I have complete freedom because I don't want anyone telling me what to do. But then again, I keep slipping and fucking up and whatever. It's like you've got a lot more burden on you psychologically when you don't believe in God. You know, I'm not saying you ought to, but you know what I mean? That's why I see it's useful for a lot of people.
Yeah, but that's why I keep going back to there are two different things we can be talking about. Like, I agree that it's good for people and that even if it's not real, that it can make a person feel better and lead a better life if they believe. Mm-hmm. Like, I get that. I understand that. But I'm more so talking about like myself and that I need proof, I guess. Yeah.
Cynical Optimist says that's what religion is for. It's a guideline to how to live life, not prevent travesty. Yeah, bad things will happen, but you can't. Again, I don't agree. Like, you know, when people say something good happened, oh, thank God, God did that. But when something bad happened, you don't blame God as well. It's like, that's a bit inconsistent. Like, you should not attribute good thing. Like, I think, don't attribute good things to God, and then when bad things happen, then it's like, oh, well, I don't know, mysterious ways. You need to be consistent. The inconsistency sometimes in certain people in religion. But again, I think this has got to do with people in groups. You can't get every human being to be consistently. Like, religion helps make people consistent to a degree. But if you're an angry person and you're religious, you're an impatient, angry person and you're a Christian. And then you've got a person that's very passive, calm and fair, and he's Christian. You're going to have very different personalities. One's going to be more pushy than the other. It's going to have a different personality. So you can't, not everyone who's Christian is going to be a lemming, is going to be like a cardboard cutout of each other. We're human beings. We're all different, you know. But I think at the base, it helps all of us who are very different. We have different wiring, different tempers. It helps kind of keep the kettle from boiling too much and keep us a bit more civilized, you know. Mm-hmm. I think religion for non-extremist people helps civilize people and then helps society be civilized on top of that. But you get rid of religion and then society crumbles as well. We got rid of marriage, God, religion, and everyone can just do what they want and everyone's acting like animals. Like, society is not better now when you get rid of it. That's the proof. It'd be great if it would be different, but that's why I'm more sympathetic towards religion than I am to this current mess in the West where everyone's like doing what they want and making up new ideas every single day and no one can keep up.
No, but I agree with that, babe. Yeah, I keep saying that. Like, I agree that it would probably be good if the world was more religious just because everyone would be behaving better. Yeah, but my thing is always just like whether it's real or not. That's just my issue, but that's personal to me. But I do agree that it's good.
This is a good point you put down. A question, what would the world be like without religion?
Probably worse than it is now.
Well, today's an example. Like, it's less religious, much less religious than in our grandparents' generation or even our parents' generation. It's changed very quickly. So here's an example. It's gotten very, very worse. So it's just going to keep getting worse if if religion keeps disappearing. Like, the proof. We don't have to think about, society would be better if we did this. If human beings would be better. If leaders were like, if, hope. We've got reality. Like, you know how we say, like, the confidence is evidence. What's the evidence we have in front of us now? Society's worse. Religion's down. Marriage is down. All of those constructs are down. Society's worse. Used to be a more stable society. Life wasn't perfect, but it was more stable socially. You got the proof. Life is worse without religion, objectively. Doesn't mean you have to be religious. How does religion give hope to so many people?
Oh, I understand that. But that's also why sometimes... that's why I keep saying, like, I wish it was, like, there was some proof. Because I can completely understand people praying and, like, feeling like there's something out there taking care of you. Like, I completely understand why people want to be religious and for that reason, you know?
I think it's very spiritually useful for people who are lost and can't really... They're not interested in these conversations. They're not philosophically interested. They don't develop their own ethics. They don't have moral discussions. They're completely lost. And the only thing they can think of is maybe I need therapy. Maybe I need, like, antidepressants or something. Like, I need to feel safe in life. And religion can really help those people.
Yeah, like I understand that, yeah.
Another question, do you think people will eventually stop believing in religion?
I think you said no to this.
No, I don't. I think it'll increase because the world's getting worse. People need to feel better and more stable in life.
Yeah, it would probably be better if more people would be religious, yeah.
What do you think of new religions?
I only want there to be a new religion if it's going to be a real one. Or no, because it needs to be a new religion with like an actual God that we can see and like proof in some way. Or it needs to be a religion where it's like Scientology but not messed up, but just like with like good morals and rules, but it was more like a spiritual thing and there wasn't necessarily like a God or anything. Like it is just a good organization and like to have a good society or whatever. That kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah,
if it was, we talked about this. If a religion came along that was like Scientology, but actually delivered on its promises. So the first stage of Scientology, it's like the best self-help in the world. It improves your life dramatically. Like you're at zero just because of it gives you basically an injection of Tony Robbins style self-help immediately, and your life, your happiness in life or your stability or security goes from 0 to at least a 5 or a 6. Like you feel really good. It improves. Yeah. But everything after that seems to be a lie. But if it actually did keep delivering, and the further up you go and you can become clear, then that would be a religion that I think would be more in line with something that you would agree on. You'd actually see evidence that it's working.
Yeah, I do know that Scientology, because we watched that whole series, they do have some like weird stuff in it, like when you become clear or something, there's like
holding the cans.
Yeah, there's something like an afterlife or something, I can't remember. But if it was just like an organization that would really help you become a better person, and like the morals and the rules within that organization were like just to be like a good person and stuff like that would be good. But if there's no like hocus pocus in there, it was just like all real stuff, like that's something I would respect.
Yeah, the initial thing is really good. It gets you in the door, and then once they've got you, and then it's all politics and hocus pocus and all this stuff that doesn't actually get results. And if you're not getting results, it's your fault.
All right, there are a few questions.
Can God prevent the devil's deeds?
Yeah, that's also a good one. Isn't God supposed to be like stronger than the devil?
Yeah, but he apparently gives us free will as well, which you would be happy with. Would you rather not have free will? Would you rather be told what to do?
No, but free will doesn't have anything to do with horrible shit happening to us. That's out of our control.
Everything has to die.
No, but if we have free will and I jump off of a mountain and I die, like that's on me.
Yeah.
But if I have free will and then I get sick and it's out of my control and I die, that's not my fault. That has nothing to do with free will.
Yeah, but look, I think external shame is very useful. It can help people be better people because they might be too lazy or don't have the willpower. Like look in our lives, without mentioning things where we struggle in our lives, if you had your society, God and everyone kind of like, well, if you go too far in that direction, you're going to be shamed. But if you have no one looking over you and you can do whatever you want, you keep being shamed because nothing stops you except how you feel in the moment. But if there's external things like your religious group, other people at church, that habit of believing you fear God, you fear going to hell, there's a lot stopping you from being shamed because like you stop yourself from going too far in whatever it is you're trying to discipline yourself in life and be a good person, you know?
Yeah, but I feel like you're talking about something else now. You're talking about shame, but I was more so talking about that free will doesn't have anything to do with that God is supposed to like protect you from outside things, in my opinion.
Well, I think the argument from religious people is that if you conduct yourself according to what God wants, the consequences you can deal with and you have a better mindset. And it's like, well, that was my fault. I shouldn't have done that because God told, like I slipped. and you feel better about it. But without it, it's kind of like, I screwed up again. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders. Like, there's no one to lean on without religion and God. Like, you've got more pressure on yourself. It's easier to be a better person and have a better life and react to tragedy and slipping up and death and all of that when there's an explanation to do with religion. Whatever you might think of it, it makes you feel better and makes you be a better person. Some people need it.
Yeah, I just think a God should protect you. That's just what I think.
Mahesh says, fact, no evidence of God. Sure. I just sort of see what is useful, you know?
Yeah, but that's two different topics.
Yeah.
I agree that it's useful, but if we talk about is it actually real, then yeah, there isn't evidence, I would say.
For me, it's like, what helps me get through the day? What helps my moral beliefs? What helps ease my anxieties? What helps me sleep at night? It doesn't matter what's ontologically real. It doesn't matter what's scientifically real. Because look at people say, well, marriage, half of marriages ended in divorce. Women will blah-de-blah. And they're kind of like, if I listened to that, I wouldn't have gotten with you at all, let alone even married you. You know, like, there are things beyond evidence.
Oh, careful there. Careful there.
I'm not making them equivalent. I know you're literal. I'm not making them literally the same. But just because I can't prove that something's real doesn't mean that it doesn't mean something to me. That's what I'm saying.
Sure. I feel like this is so funny to watch for people who are actually watching. I think it's so obvious that you keep going back to believing in it because it's useful, and I keep going back to, but is it real or not? That's basically, we keep jumping. That's the conversation we're having.
Yeah, I'm more philosophically inclined because I sort of see whether you think God's real or not, or whether you think some people who are highly religious are just kind of wackos or they're simple-minded or whatever, is like, even if you think they're naive, who's happier?
No, but you're right. That's what I'm saying. I think we both agree with each other. It's just that you really like talking about that topic and I really like talking about this topic. And that's why we keep jumping back and forth.
Yeah, I don't really... What is real, scientifically, whatever,
he's asking.
It doesn't matter to me as much as the effect of the quality of your life, whether it's real or not. You know? Yeah, obviously if something's real, I agree, it's 100% real. But if there's no proof for and against, then I agree. In terms of God, I'm more skeptical. I believe more that there's, in terms of what I see and feel, I don't see an existence of this person looking down on me. I see it more as like a universe where just stuff happens.
But you know, I will agree with what you just said. Because even if no one knows if it's real, but the whole world suddenly becomes more religious and the world becomes a better place, of course that's good. Even if some people think, I don't know if this is real. Right? So I agree with that. I'm just saying, for me personally, that's just...
What would you guess, right? If someone just described to you a really, like, not an extremist family, but a religious family, what would their home be like and their children be like? And how they act and treat other people, compared to someone who, what image comes into your mind? What would you expect them to act like? What would you expect their children to act like?
Yeah, decent, polite, follow the rules,
That's
be
why I
good
say it's
people.
more useful, have more respect.
Yeah, but I agree with that, babe. I completely agree. I think I should answer a cynical optimist's question. My definition of real is basically proof that something is real. So like
this.
Yeah, like you can either touch it or in some way know that it's real. Like touch it, feel it, or get like a really strong sense of it or something. In some way where it's like proof that it's real. So, yeah. Either by visually seeing it or touching it or noticing like something, a result in your life.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't be given it without having, again, this word faith. Faith that it seems like, let me try it, let me have the will to believe in it, and then afterwards, then you get the reward of it being real.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about like, because that doesn't really happen in this world. I'm talking more so about, let's say there's a new religion, right? and they say if you follow these rules, there's an actual God. If you follow these rules, then this and this and this will happen in your life. And then like 10 million people in the world start following this religion, and for those 10 million people, they follow the religion and those things actually happen in their lives. Like, that's what I mean. That's proof. Not just like a random person believes in a religion and then something good happens and then they're like, oh, look, this happened, so it's real. Like, no, you're just a random person. That could just be a coincidence.
Yeah, you're a very literal person, babe.
Yes, I am.
You're very literal and needs to be real. Words mean
Yes.
what they say, which is what I love about you. But in these philosophical, even when I make analogies and like this means this and this kind of is connected to this concept, you're like, no, what is it actually real or not? I don't get what you're making like ideas about these things. So
I don't know. I just like order. I think that would be so good if it was just honest and fair and what it said was actually what it is and what it promised. And then everyone would follow the religion and there would be peace and everyone would be happy. It'd be like a huge utopia.
do people who follow a religion have a better time than those who don't?
I don't know. Some. I don't know.
I would generally say yes. It seems to me that religious people are more well-adjusted, have less anxiety, and worry about the world less because they feel they're taken care of, whether or not it's real, whether you can prove it or not.
I honestly don't know.
My feeling is yes, generally yes. Do you think religion always fits our modern day world? No. Not always.
I don't know.
You asked this before. Do you think there'll ever be a single world religion? You would love there to be one.
I think that would be good. That's how because I'm always like, I write, so I'm always like thinking of storylines, and I always have like this planet with like its own society, and there's always like one thing, like one religion, one leader. That's how I see it. So I think that would be good.
Yeah.
One religion. But it needs to be a good one though, not like a crazy one.
There's a question here. Money is more important than religion, and shopping malls are more important than places of worship. What do you think about this? Oh, like there's more people in shopping malls than in churches. Well, that just goes to show how much in the opposite direction we've gone.
Well, saying money is more important than religion, that's obviously not good. Like, let's not say religion, but let's just say good morals, good rules that everyone follows. That's probably way more important than money.
Yeah, real cynical optimist says real for someone could simply mean experiential, and that's their proof. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, some people can feel like they've had experiences and like that's proof for them. And like, I totally understand that. I'm just talking like from this is just my point of view, guys. So I totally understand that if someone had an experience and then they believe, like, of course, I can understand that, yeah. Babe, do you mind if I have to go to something?
Well, we'll wrap up soon. I think we're...
Yeah, but I don't want to wrap.
All right, let's take a short break because Stephanie needs to...
Because I'm a girl.
We're back. We are back. You feeling better?
Yes. All right, I had a lot of coffee.
All right, where were we? Mahesh says, let's look at the animal kingdom. There is a sense of harmony of nature. They exist without religion, but there is goodness that exists there.
Exactly.
Yeah, but animals don't, they argue animals don't have a sense of themselves. We have a philosophical sense of ourselves, past, present, future. Animals don't act, respond as though they do have a sense of past, present, and future like that we do. They
have instinct. I feel like we are such idiots sometimes compared to some animals and how they live.
If we acted like animals, we wouldn't have a society. We would just do what we want in the moment. We would fuck, eat, kill. There would be no order.
Not with all animals. There are many animals that live very harmoniously, like he describes.
Yeah, some.
But that's what I mean. Like, I don't think there necessarily needs to be a religion per se. Like, I don't know. I feel like if a society just has like good morals and good rules, then I don't know. But I think I say that because I was raised well with good morals, but I've never been religious. Like those times we went to church when I was little, I didn't even remember that. But like if you're just raised well and you live in a good society, then I don't know. I don't feel like you necessarily need religion.
You and I both were raised in a good household. We liked our upbringing. We love our family. But we have to also deal with what's out there. I talked about on my other channel how like I love my mother and my sister, and I had a great experience with the women in my family, and I thought all women were like that, but they're not. And we can talk to the end of the earth like, if society, if women, if couples, if like, not it's you can only deal with what is out there at the time. What it needs, like it needs to start with people changing, and now people have got complete freedom to do whatever they want, almost consequence free. All consequences are like, well, that's all relative and that's fine, and fat is beautiful, and men are women, like all that shit. Like there's no reality. There's no making people be better because there's no religion. There's just nothing. People are just becoming more and more base animals with iPhones. Mm. People can barely spell online. Have you seen some of the even titles of YouTube videos? They can't even grammatically spell the titles of their YouTube videos properly. Mm. And they've taken the time to, yeah. Anyway.
I don't know. I really like his comment, though.
Women love animals much more than guys do. They have this kind of very loving parental, and a lot of women love animals more than they do human beings.
No, but I think he's talking about, like, there are some animal groups, they just live in harmony, and they've got, like, roles and hierarchy, and they just do things in a certain way that's good for them, and they have like a good like society, however you call that in the animal world. Mm-hmm. And it just works. Yeah. And that's what I mean. And compared to that, like humans are idiots compared to that sometimes. But
I would say that the nicest animal species that you're describing, they are usually prey to other animals. They are the food for other animals. They are the mammals that eat grass that get hunted by lions. They are the salmon in the sea that get eaten by predators. The nicest animals are the ones that are preyed upon by other animals.
Well, I think wolves are a good example. Like they live together very harmoniously.
Sure, but they kill. They're very savage and they kill everything around them.
Yeah, because they're wolves. That's fine. That's different from humans killing humans. Yeah, they're eating their prey to eat. That's
but imagine there were as many wolves they were the dominant species on the earth, not human beings.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they should be. I'm just saying like they have like harmony in like how they live. Yeah. And they don't have a religion. That was his point.
Yeah, I like the wolves society as well.
Yeah, wolves are awesome.
But I think it's another topic. Any other questions?
For example, the cup, I saw it, but because I can't interact with it, you can touch it and you can see it and you can drink from it, so it's real. Case closed. Oh, I'm being humorous. Okay. You got me, shit.
Andrew, because the devil can be just as powerful as God at times. It's a battle that never ends.
Yeah, sure, if it's real. Could also just be made up, like no one knows.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I respect a person that doesn't care what other people think, that if they believe in something, they're solid and good. They're stoic, solid and good. And you got these raving lunatics, yeah, but it's not real, and this is going to happen, and blah, blah, blah. And this person's just like, yeah, I don't care.
Is that me, babe? Am I the raving lunatic?
In this case, maybe.
Really?
No.
I'm not trying to be judgmental, or I'm just, because I'm giving my opinion, and I'm just kind of blunt, so I just say what I think.
No, but don't you respect the person that they don't care what other people, evidence they show? Is like, yeah, I don't care. You're like, women will do this, therefore your wife will do this to you. It's like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care what evidence you showed me. I'm happy. But evidence, it's not, yeah, I don't care. Like, I respect the people. They don't give a shit. They're so firm. They believe what they believe, and they're a decent person. Like, I put a gold medal on them. And people are all these raving lunatics, but this is this, and studies show this, and you can't prove this, but it could be this, but how do you know that?
Yeah, but that's different. That's about probability. Like, the evidence is real, but that's about, like, probability. Like, could it happen to you? That's kind of different.
Anyway.
I know. Is Bitcoin real? Well, yeah, because you can buy, that's like money online, right? You can buy stuff with Bitcoin.
It's real because you can do it. But it's an idea. Like, money now online is like ones and zeros. Like, there's less and less actual paper money. Again, Matrix, what is real? Reals are just electrical signals in your brain interpreted.
Yeah, but real is like basically if you can touch it and see it, or it's like if it has actual consequences. Like, then I would call it real, because Bitcoin is like online, I guess. I don't know much about Bitcoin. But like, I think it works like money, like you can buy stuff with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then in a way it's real, because you can buy stuff.
It's a monetary system.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it either. All right. Any further questions, throw them to us, because there's a delay of 30 seconds to a minute, and we'll wrap up the stream. We've been going for an hour and a half. What have you finally got to say about religion, babe?
I think religion is probably good for most people. I think it would probably be good if more people were religious, because it would just make people more proper and decent. But yeah, but just what I'm hung up on is just that there's no proof. And yeah, but that's just my personal opinion.
I respect religion much more than Western society now without it, because of how human beings conduct themselves when given unlimited freedom. To me, it's like the theoretical discussions of like human beings should be better and what the government should do doesn't matter. It's like what is and the evidence of what's happening now. I think that most people need religion because they act like 3-year-olds. And I think a really good positive for religion is that these 3-year-olds that most people don't want to be responsible. Most people take the easy way out of everything. Most people don't want to put much effort into anything. They don't like anything being hard and being rewarded by the effort that they do, which religion teaches you to hold back, defer your gratification for tomorrow, and then you'll be proud of yourself. The instant gratification of today, just do what you feel, and then tomorrow you crash or you've cheated on your partner or whatever it might be. Religion kind of makes you do what you should do and what you ought to do. And if more people were religious, they wouldn't be controlled by the media, they wouldn't be controlled by the government. But without religion, they just kind of are very easily marketed to and influenced. But religion is more concerned with, no, this is true, this is right and wrong. It's black and white. Right, wrong, this is the book. We're not going to revise it. That's exactly what it is. This is the way you treat people. And then the government or marketing goes, well, do this. It's like, no, because I believe in black and white, right and wrong. But without the black and white ethics and principles of religion, people today, most of them who are toddlers, they're just like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Okay, I'll buy Bitcoin. Okay, I'll go to McDonald's. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, there's no men and women anymore.
No hate on McDonald's.
I like McDonald's too. But I actually have grown more and more positive towards religion, and I respect religion now more than I did decades ago, just because of the opposite of the way the world is without it, without being religious myself. And yeah, I hope people enjoyed that discussion.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had quite a lot to say. And that's always fun when I have, because usually you talk most. But yeah, I think that's one of the topics I have more to say about, like include also the topic about kids, why we don't want kids. I have a lot to say about that topic, I feel. But yeah.
What did people leave your comments down below if you got any more final questions? But also, what do you think of this camera angle? I picked a wider lens just to get more of us in the shot than before. This is a 16mm lens, and the one we used last week was a 24mm. That doesn't mean anything to you, does it, babe?
No.
The 16 makes both of us look thinner. The 24 makes us look a bit wider. And then the 35 makes us wider, and 50 and 85.
Fake news, yeah, that is a real thing. Because if fake news is like published on a website or whatever, and you read it, then there it is. So yeah.
Thanks, Peg. Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it was an interesting discussion.
Yeah.
It's interesting how we I think we agree on everything. Right?
Yeah.
But we just like to talk about different angles.
Yeah, it's not like we're diametrically opposed. Like, I'm not highly religious and Stephanie's an absolute atheist.
I'm agnostic, I would say. Like, I believe that no one knows.
Yep.
And I could be right and I could be wrong, but no one knows. So
yeah, if someone put a gun to my head and said, like, you have to choose religion or Western liberal society, I would go religion if I had no choice. But I'm kind of in the middle, and I'm sympathetic towards religion because they're much more civilized. Not the lunatics on any religion, but they're more adult about things, and they've got more sets of rules, and I can understand them more. So I hope all of that blabbing, human leans in. Okay. All right. I think we're going to go. That's all we got to say. I hope you got something out of that. I wonder, these religious topics, there's even big religious channels on the internet and on YouTube. It's a really big area. So you're either for or against, but we're kind of somewhere neutral, I would say. And
I think, though, I respect people more when they are religious, but they do admit that it's like something that you believe in, whether you're not sure if it's real or not, but it's more about believing in it because of everything it stands for and what it can bring into your life. I think I respect that person more than the person that's like almost that almost looks down on people that don't believe, and they're like, oh, I know that it's real, and like you just don't believe it, and it's kind of like they're treating you like degrading, you know.
And then there's also the opposite. It's there's also the atheist or the non-believer that looks down on the person that believes. You got the other person. So I think both of us can agree the opposites that look down on the other, we don't like them. But if you can in the middle have a civilized discussion about the pros and cons, like I hope what we were trying to do today, we had slightly different points of view. I think I would find a really interesting discussion with, like, say, a religious person that could talk to me like a human being and wouldn't just try to kind of arm wrestle me into believing in all of the, well, you know, Joseph said and God said, and like, can you talk like a human being, dude? Then I'll have a good discussion with you. I respect that discussion more. So a religious person doesn't like to be drowned in atheist discussion, like, and shamed, but an atheist doesn't like to be drowned and shamed from a religious point of view. So I think talking like a decent, fair human being in the middle is the best, the kind of people we respect, and I think where we're coming from.
I agree, but I do understand the atheist point of view more. Because when someone who's like super religious and they're like criticizing someone who doesn't necessarily believe, that standpoint is like you are so overly confident with something that has never been proven, you know? So I do, if an atheist is criticizing people who believe, I do understand that standpoint better because there's no proof. And especially if that person comes from like a science point of view, like I do understand that better than the other way around, I think. The blue wrench is real.
Who's got the blue wrench? Actually, can I give Peg a blue wrench? No. It has to be off the stream. No, I think we did. No, Peg has the blue wrench. Peg has the ability to ban people who are being idiots. So does one or two people. Boffin's actually, I think he's recovering from the flu.
I was kind of expecting a few like a negative comments or something, but it's been like completely normal.
I think we got relatively pretty good subs on this channel, babe. We're just talking like two people, which is what I like.
Oh, that's what he means. He's still talking about real. Yeah, okay. The coffee is real, yes.
All right. I think we're done. Yeah?
I guess. I don't want to go, but I never want to stop streaming. It's just fun.
We're going to have a nice day today.
Yes.
You don't want to start having a nice day?
Yes, I do.
Then shut your face.
Yeah.
All right. Happy birthday to your father, babe.
Oh, yeah. My dad's. It's his birthday today in Holland.
Yep.
Or in Spain.
All right. We're going to go and enjoy our Friday here in Melbourne, the 25th of October. And we've got a few things coming up this next 2 months.
Yeah. We have our 2-year wedding anniversary coming up in November.
Mm-hmm.
And then also in November, we have my birthday coming up. And then in December, we're going to Spain for 3 weeks.
And then Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, everybody. Thanks for showing up. Leave your comments down below. And also leave your comments on this post. Where is it? Here. We left a post about your opinion about religion. Seriously.
Oh, we haven't even read those.
Oh, we can quickly read them before we go. David says, I was raised Catholic and was required to attend church until I turned 18. I left the church for very specific reasons and feel no guilt for doing so. Since then, the only time I set foot in church was during funerals, weddings, or commemorative services where my mother had a mass said for my father kind of thing. I don't follow any specific religion. I live by my own moral code. I believe in some form of higher power, but I don't know what that is. I have friends who are Buddhist, Catholics, Protestants. I don't really care what they practice as long as they don't try to force it on me. Yeah, David P is actually very much like me. Whenever he says things, it's like, yep. I think, David, if you live close, we'd probably catch up for a coffee and we'd pretty much agree on everything.
Yeah, I agree with what he says as well.
Yeah. Accidental Hero, which I think is Armored Ghost. No, Cynical Optimist here. He says, you can read that.
I have several takes on religion. 1, if you don't like religion, then think of it as wisdom. 2, there's no escaping religious framework. There's no way out of it. If you eliminate it out of rationality and criticism, what you inevitably produce is its replacement by forms of religion that are much less sophisticated. In other words, you operate through fundamentalism of your beliefs. 3, religion is the simplification of spirituality. Religion is the illusion of an infinite intelligence, not the reality of an infinite intelligence. The religious task is to restore the wholeness of personality. Religion means to put things back together again, to connect whatever is fractured. This is the job of the religious life. We modern people are broken within. The truth is hard to bear, and we do not want to hear that there is something in the world more important than our ego. 5, all of the spiritual texts and religious doctrines are a good textbook for ideas, stories, success equations, and how to live the better life. It is as much practical as it is spiritual.
Yep. Kathy says one of the worst aspects of... Oh, actually, there's a bit more here. One of the worst aspects of religion is that one can take its doctrines and use them to manipulate others and situations to suit their agenda. Yes. This is what I talked about, the worst kind of people that use religion as like it's a religious war or something like that. The worst kind of people use it in a sinister way. Because if you look at the religions don't ask you to act in that way. People get into the religion because of the benevolent ways in which you act towards other people. She continues, one of the best aspects of religion is that one can take its doctrines and use them to manipulate others, or manipulate others and situations to suit their agenda. You mean one of the worst? You meant to say here.
Oh, yeah.
You just repeated. Sometimes it's the people that are the problem rather than the religion. I believe this, actually. Again, today I'm very sympathetic towards religion, and I think it's the minority retards in whatever group that ruin it for everyone else. They're the loudest, and whichever group that is. I don't think it's different from religion to feminism to red pill guys or anything like that. It's paying attention to who you're talking to. I think that's it.
Did we read all 4?
Yes, we did. What traits do you... That was last week. I don't think we read all of those. Did we read all? I think we did. All right. All right, we're going to go. We are going to go. Yeah. We've been going for nearly 1 hour and 45 minutes. All right, let's get out of here. Let's get something to eat. It's a nice day, and we'll catch you all later. Bye.
All right, bye.